flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Amy.
Sure. Mr. Siebold.
Present.
Ms. King.
Present.
Thank you. Ms. Gunchin.
Present.
Mr. Dawson. And Mr. Johnson.
Present.
Thank you. We have a quorum.
Need an approval of the July 8th, 25 meeting minutes. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries.
Thank you. President, Chairman, there was a little bit of some change in the agenda just to make sure we're complying with our bylaws. We do have voting announcements of outstanding decisions, which we do have some email communications on from our last hearing. When you're ready, I can present those and show you what we have if you'd like.
Proceed.
All right, appeal number 13320 was an email communication, and I'm going to try to talk loud enough. And this was for...
Hello, this is your court reporter. I cannot hear anybody.
Can you hear me now, Danielle?
You hear me, Danielle?
Okay, just give us 1 second.
I can hear you.
You hear me?
I just
Guess not.
Can you hear our chairman?
Hello, hello.
yeah. So as long as he speaks into the mic, I can hear him.
Yeah, so just a reminder to everybody speaking today, make sure we're into the microphones as I walk around. Okay, Danielle, just shout out if you need us to speak up a little more. Okay, board, this is the appeal number 13320. This was by Greg Gaddy. He did respond by email that he will be withdrawing his appeal and complying with the zoning ordinance as is. Okay, and I'll pass that around for you. Also, we have Frank Gresh's appeal, and that was for 2226 June Street. He will also be complying with the zoning ordinance and doing 2 separate buildings at this time. Both of those communications are in their folders if you'd like to review. That's all, Chairman.
Okay, Amy, we're back to continued hearings number 5.
That's correct. We have Mr. Spearman here today to discuss his appeal, if you'd like to hear that off the table.
Okay, anybody that needs to be sworn in today, why don't you stand and raise your right hand, and the court reporter will swear you in. Anybody that's going to speak.
That's for all appeals, so if you're going to speak today, please stand.
Anybody that's going to speak today, please rise and raise your right hand. Okay, Danielle, you can swear him in.
Do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Thank you.
Okay. Do you want to introduce the appeal, or would you like me to read that for you?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Okay. This is appeal number 13319 by Steve Spearman concerning a property located at 524 West 17th Street. Index is 16-3026-237. It's located in an R2 residential zoning district. The appellant is requesting a dimensional variance for an addition. Per section 205.5 of the ordinance, the minimum rear yard setback is 20 feet. 4 feet was proposed, and I do have his appeal hearing as well for you. Mr. Spearman, you want to take this thing?
So just as a technical matter, we had tabled this previously, correct? Mm-hmm. So we would need a motion to take this appeal off of the table. Do I have
Apologies for
It's okay. Do we have a motion to take this appeal off of the table?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. And then, Mr. Chairman, if you'd call for a quick vote on that?
Sure.
A
All those-
Vote on the motion to take the appeal off of the table.
Okay.
Okay.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Spearman, tell us where you're at with your appeal.
I'm in agreement.
You're going to, from what I understand, you're going to agree to cut the size of the building back
Yes,
by 6 feet? Is that what it was?
yes.
And we were going to, okay.
I can't remember. So I can't remember the exact math on it, so we might have to revisit that.
6 feet.
As a reminder,
I can't hear anything that anybody's saying, and I also don't have anybody's name. So I can't write who's saying what because I don't know anybody's name.
okay, this is Mr. Spearman. Do you not have the agenda that I sent them?
I don't have the agenda board members' names.
Okay, I can email that over to you if you'd like.
It should probably be helpful for her to just
Yeah.
identify folks. So the gentleman at the podium right now is Mr. Spearman. He is the appellant on this. My name is Art Martinucci. I am the solicitor for the zoning hearing board.
Jeffrey Johnson, Chairman of the Zoning Hearing Board.
Laura Gunshin, member.
Tom Sebald, member?
And Amy
Yes, that was
Francis.
super helpful. Just really quick. Art, can you spell your last name for me?
Sure, Martinucci.
And Laura, can you spell your last name for me?
Sure, Guncheon.
Thank you. And Tom, your last name?
It's S as in Sam, E, B as in boy, A, L, D as in dog.
All right. And Tom, if you could please just repeat what you said, but stay close to the mic. I apologize, guys.
No worries. Okay, we were at, was it 6 feet, Tom, that you were going to propose?
So I just can't, I know it was the 6 feet, but I can't remember what that gave us for the variance
Just
number.
as a reminder, the alley accounted for 5 foot. There was a correction during the last meeting on that. So he's asking for 4, given another 5, he's at 9 right now. And he needed the 20 for the rear yard setback. So I'm not sure what math you are looking for.
What was it before? What did we think it was before? We thought it was 10. The alley gave him 10.
It only
Or
gives
it
them
only gives them
5 by the
5.
code.
So we're going to give him a variance of 11.
Yes.
Right.
Right?
I think that's my math, so.
5 and 4, 9, 11 would be your 20, yes.
Okay. I'm still comfortable with that. Yeah.
You want to make a motion to that effect?
Yep. So I would make a motion that we approve variance with the stipulation that 6 feet be removed from the building, which gives you a 9-foot offset from the, no, 11-foot offset from the property line, including the alley. That made no sense.
So 11 foot would need to be your setback is what they're saying. That includes 5 foot from the alley. The 4 that's there, you'll have to adjust back to comply with 11 if they approve that.
It's the other way around, right?
Currently, the current configuration is 9 feet, including 5 feet from the alley. If he removes 6, that will give him 15 feet total setback.
That's, okay.
That's the minimum.
Okay.
Right.
So we would approve the variance if he removes 6 feet from the building. And then the variance would be 5 feet, 5 additional feet.
So the variance is going to end up being 5 feet.
Yeah. So I would make a motion to approve the variance of 5 feet.
A second for that motion?
I will second that.
We don't need to have anybody speak.
You can ask if there's anybody who's opposed to it.
Is there anyone opposed to this variance? Anybody here opposed to this variance? Last time, anybody opposed to this variance? Thank you. Seeing none, call for the vote.
Okay, Mr. Sebald?
Approved?
Ms. King?
Approved.
Ms. Gunchin?
Approve?
And Mr. Johnson?
Approved.
Congratulations, motion carries.
Congratulations, Mr. Spearman. Sorry to put you through all this.
Hey, it's life. My life has been like that, man. I just keep moving.
Good luck there.
All right. I do want to say one thing,
Yes.
I train a lot of young men and women, and last time
Speak up a little bit, would you please?
I train a lot of young men and women,
Yes.
and last time I was here was actually the first time I actually realized how many lives that I touched. And within the last 5 years, the young men that are going into high school and women that are going into high school, I've had some things happen in my life, and made a lot of changes, and I can't really worry about what the people say. I just got to do the right thing, And I tell these young men and women, there's going to be one day, we're all going to have to meet our higher power. And I firmly believe that a question is going to be asked, what did you do to make the world better? So just to clear up some things, I'm trying to make the world better, man. I'm not trying to do anything wrong with the code or whatever. I honestly made a bad call by trusting someone to come down here and do what they were supposed to do that I thought they were supposed to do. So I just want to thank you guys for, not making me tear down the building. And I definitely will make a difference. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
Have a good day.
Take care.
Hey, I gotta take a call. I won't be a second.
Just do a quick motion to adjourn, or not adjourn, but to recess.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a quick motion to recess for just 2 minutes.
Okay, we're going to go to recess for a moment. Yes. Are you ready?
You wanna read that?
Yeah, sure. We have appeal number 13323 by Kevin Gates and Derek Verici, sorry about that. This is on behalf of Fay Ventures LLC concerning a property located at 1648 West 8th Street. The index is 17-41, 14-229. It's located in a C1 local commercial zoning district. The appellant is requesting a use variance for a proposed tattoo parlor business. Per section 204.6, previous section 204.15, tattoo parlor is not a permitted use. If you guys want to come up, just make sure you state your name, spell your name really clearly for our court reporter, and your address, and then she can go ahead and get you, well, you're already sworn in, and you guys can present your case.
I'm Kevin Gates. I live at 1212 West 10th Street, Erie, PA 16502, and Kevin is Kevin, Gates is Gates.
Ready? Hi, I'm Richard Derek Farici. It's Richard, I go by Derek, Derrick. Farici is V as in Victor, Oricci. I live at 521 West 31st Street.
All right, we are requesting a variance for 1648 West 8th Street. Our main objective is to get closer to the city of Erie because currently we're out in Mill Creek, kind of by the airport, which is just kind of off on its own world. There's not much of an art community or anything like that out there. We think we'd be a good fit for this location on 8th Street because it is a small building. It's a 10-minute walk from my house, but also Derek and I are just two artists there, and our hours are typically like 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. if that, so it won't be like a disruptive.
No walk-in traffic.
Yeah. So we're by appointment only on that, so we feel it'd be a good fit for the neighborhood.
And Amy, that's the subject there in front of us, the two-story red brick building with the awning?
Yes, that's correct. There is some rentals above. Previous use was retail store.
And is the property in question both sides of downstairs or
It's
both
both
sides?
Yep.
Okay.
There's tenants upstairs on both sides.
Okay.
And then we have letter of recommendation from the tenants approving that us being there as well. But another good thing on our behalf is we're familiar, me living in this neighborhood for almost 10 years, we're very familiar with the businesses and they're familiar with us, the hair salons, the coffee shops. We're not strangers to the area.
Yeah.
So pretty much everyone in that area and businesses included know us personally.
Yeah.
So when I was reviewing the agenda and the materials on this, I noted and had sent to Amy some information back in May of 2023 at appeal number 12285. There was an individual that was looking for a use variance for a tattoo parlor in an RLB district, where tattoo parlors were not permitted. When we analyzed that situation, it came to our attention that tattoo parlor is not a defined term in the zoning ordinance. It has very limited references, and the board felt at that point in time that what was actually going on at a tattoo parlor was more in the line of personal services, such as a nail salon or a hair salon or things like that. And those were permitted in an RLB district, and those are permitted in a C1 district, which is what we have here. And the board did approve that use variance at appeal 12285. I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware of that so that we approached it consistently.
And with the recent update to the zoning ordinance, we did not define tattoo parlor. Like
Right.
it is still undefined.
Still undefined.
Okay, thank you.
It has been noted to make some adjustments one way or the other when we come to that time.
Yeah, I know another concern that might have been pointed out was like a parking issue because some bigger tattoo shops have like 8 to 10 artists and you'd have to have parking for them and clients. Well, me being a 10-minute walk, I plan to walk there every day. Derek's real close as well, possibly riding a bicycle. There is one parking spot for us, which he could use or if I need it at some point. But as far as like our clientele and type, we usually see 1 to 2 people a day being private studio. So like you know, if he has a client, I have a client that's only like 2 parking spots at a time taken up, so it wouldn't clutter up the street at all. And the fact that our hours of operation are typical, like normal working days, like a 10 to 6 at the latest. Some days there might be like till 8, but very rarely we're trying to be out there.
We do
so.
like a half-day and full-day rate tattoos, so it's just half a day, full day. It takes up our entire day usually, so.
So you do not accept walk-ins? And that's documented on a website or social media platforms?
Yeah,
or?
and then we've been at it for like 18 years, 12 years. People, our clients all know. And
Yeah, the closest we get to walk-ins are like someone might call and be like, do you have availability today? And if we do and we're sitting there, yeah, come on in. But typically if someone walks right in, we usually end up leaving them with an appointment to come back so we have time to draw it.
Consultations, things like that, yeah. It's easier. We do larger scale work, so it's easier to talk to people and then have them come later. But.
Sure. Part of the hardship criteria is documenting that this proposed use would not alter the essential character of the neighborhood.
Yep.
And you could understand why a neighborhood like Frontier would be concerned about people loitering, people, you know, large groups of folks outside smoking, that sort of thing. So that's why I was asking about by appointment only, and that's known by your clientele.
Yeah, another good note is neither of us smoke either. So like if our clients do, we'll have somewhere for them to properly dispose of their cigarette butts and just right, you know, kind of in front, you know, there. So there won't be any of that. And especially like the loitering issue or the bigger shop, you might have that more, but where it's just me and Derek, if one person at a time, maybe 1 to 2 people a day, he probably...
Sometimes 1 a day, depends on the hours, yeah.
So you won't see that. So that's another reason we felt like this spot would be a good fit, because a lot of this stuff that's properly zoned for like tattoo shops are big plazas, buildings that are, you know, 2,000-3,000 a month, but we don't really need that kind of space being just the 2 of us. It's just kind of overkill, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Are your hours also documented on
We stick within like 10 to 6 usually, and sometimes
10 a.m., 6 p.m.?
Yes, and sometimes earlier if we can, but that's, or not earlier, but less of a stretch of time. So.
Yeah, the website says 12 to 8. I think that's just the standard that it put on there, but we are going to be changing that because we do typically are there like 10 to 6 p.m. Because at some point we're like, why are we working second shift? Why don't we just...
It is standard on the website 12 because it doesn't let you change piercing either. We don't pierce, so it says 12 to 8 in piercing, but we actually don't have piercing at the shop either. So.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So this would be a question for Art, I think. Do we need to even do a variance if we're calling it a personal service?
So we approved the variance at 12,285, but with the findings, we did make that notation. It just clears it up for down the road in case there is some question. But we made it clear in the decision that the reason was because we felt that it was akin to a personal service.
And from the office standpoint, because it's listed as its own use, we have to put it through as is now. So you might hear even more of these that come through until we get that ordinance change.
Yeah, when we looked it up, it was kind of unclear. It was like, the Google review was like, yes, C1 can be a tattoo, and then you Google the same thing again and be like, well, actually, you got to do this. So we're like, let's just...
We want to make sure.
Yeah.
For
Just
sure.
needs a little cleaning.
Right,
that's all.
exactly. Yeah.
Any other questions from the board? Is there anyone else here to speak on behalf of the variance? Well, are you? All right, you have to come up to the podium, give us your name, address.
You can have a seat, gentlemen.
Okay.
Just make sure you state your name for the court reporter and spell it if you don't mind.
Sure. My name is Courtney Olevnik, Olevnik, O-L-E-V-N-I-K. Just here in support of these gentlemen. I own the building, so just wanted to be here to share my support of their tattoo parlor, of the current shop that they have now. I did stop by to see them, and their shop is incredibly clean. They are very professional. As they noted, I also had the 2 tenants that are in the building, one young lady upstairs and then another woman in the back that have been there for a few years with me, really lovely tenants. Wanted to make sure that I had their approval and support as well. Talked with them through it. They signed a letter of support. I also signed a similar letter of support which noted some of the property limitations and hardships that you guys require in order to get this
So
approved.
2 residential units in the rear of the building, 1 on the first floor, 1 on the second floor.
That's correct. Yes. And they both felt, if you had a chance to take a look at the letter, they both felt that having somebody there would make them feel a lot more safe and secure. We obviously talked about what type of business it would be. They were very excited about having creative professionals in that space. I think it would be a lovely addition to the neighborhood. I also reside in the neighborhood. I live on Beverly, so I'm right around the corner from them. I have eyes on the building consistently because of my tenants being there. So again, just wanted to be here to show my support for the gentleman and their business.
Thank you. Is there anybody else to speak on behalf of the variance? Anybody else here to speak on behalf of the variance?
Good afternoon. Jason Check again, CHECQUE, one of the solicitors for the city, that's for the court reporter. I'm actually neither for or opposed, but I kind of wanted to clarify what Art Martinucci said. I don't think it's as clear in this particular situation. I did get the email that referenced the granting under 2023 of the personal services. However, I think there is some confusion when you look through our current zoning code, which I know we've talked about revising in the near future. Tattoo parlors themselves are only permitted in a C2 district. Now, also in the C2 district, permitted is personal services and professional services. All 3 of them are listed as permitted uses. So, in a way, and I also would define a tattoo parlor, like I think if you walk by a tattoo parlor, you know it's a tattoo parlor. It's a very distinct, kind of business. I don't think you can mistake it for something else. So, this is more information for you to talk with Art. So, personal services and professional services, both are separately listed, are permitted in C1, C2, C3, and C4. The tattoo parlor itself is only listed in C2. Now, because tattoo parlors are listed separately, I don't know. I think there's probably an argument that you can say it's not a personal service. And when I do that, I also reference in Article 6 the definition of personal service. And that gets to any commercial establishment providing services pertaining to the person, his apparel, or personal effects commonly carried on or about the person. And it actually says including an automatic teller machine, shoe repair, tailoring, clothes cleaning on the premises. But it says specifically massage parlors or adult uses shall not be considered personal uses. So I was really staring at this definition and I was like, what does that mean? So I took it as to taking that when it really shows shoe repair, tailoring, clothing, and says personal and effects commonly carried on the person, I don't think tattoo parlor in my mind falls under that category. I would throw in there hair salon or getting your nails done. Those always seem to be on the person. This personal services definition seems to focus on things you would carry, your purse, your clothes, your shoes, stuff you could buy like that.
Your fingernails?
Fingernails, but that's on your person because it talks about massage parlors or no adult uses. So that's not really, it's saying, so those are of the person, like on your skin or whatever. It says those are excluded. Now, but however, not to complicate this further, again, professional services also allowed in C1, C2, C3, C4. And the reason I point you out to professional services really talks about any specialized service in the community, and it goes into what you would consider true professions. So engineering, law, medicine, philosophy, science, technology, but also it talks about the arts. Now, and it's a very broad definition of the arts. We go into drama, music, painting, photography. I actually think there's probably a decent argument to list the tattoo parlor under professional services. And I would actually just reference what they just said. They said we don't take walk-ins, we do a consultation, we do a sketch, and we talk with the person, just like a professional would do. They also talk about specifically painting, okay? Now, I don't know if you would call a tattoo a painting, but you would certainly say that someone's skin could be a canvas, in my opinion. And I remember in art class doing pen and ink drawings. I took art a couple years in high school, and it was one of the projects you learned to do. So using pen and ink, painting, I actually think this is more of a professional services based on the current definitions of our zoning code. Now, professional services are permitted under C2. My only wrinkle is that tattoo parlors are specifically kind of designated. So I'll leave it up to you guys on how you want to do it, but I'm neither, like I said, I'm not against the business or for the business, just that right now it does seem the zoning office made the right decision, because this is C1, but tattoo parlors, according to our zoning code, are only available in C2. Just by the wording. That's all I'm saying. And I like you and Art guys to talk about it.
Jason, so how would you, if this were a beauty salon?
I would say that's a professional service.
Okay.
Because I think, especially not for myself, I get like the same haircut I get every 2 months. But if I'm going in there for a real haircut like my wife goes in for, she gets a cut and color. It's a 3-hour process. She gets, they say, well, what do you want to change up? There's pictures or photos that they can, compare it to. I would consider that a professional. Getting your hair dyed, there's chemicals involved with that. There's got to be a time frame. I think that could mess up someone's hair, So, and the same thing with nails. I mean, I don't know how many complaints I've heard about people getting their nails, but someone dug a little too deep, and all of a sudden they got like a little infection because the nail person did like too good of a job. Or I consider, and those are of the skin also, so they fit more in the professional. The personal services definition, it really seems to stay away from skin stuff. That's how I looked at it. So
It seems like it's a dry cleaner or a tailor.
Right.
So you're kind of concurring in the result. You would just reach it a different way.
Yes, but I also would say there's an argument you can say that tattoo parlors are only allowed in C2.
Yeah, well.
But again, that's up for you guys.
Back when the only tattoo parlor in town was Buddha's next to the adult bookstore, maybe.
Exactly. So.
Yeah.
Also in Mill Creek Township.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for your perspective, I mean, I would say if you want to reach the result under either personal services or under professional services, I think that is fine. If you wanted to take up the argument that it's only permitted in C2, you could take that up. I don't know that I would recommend it.
But any other questions? Otherwise, I'll sit down and be quiet.
Thank you.
No, thanks.
Anybody else to speak in favor of the variance? Anyone else here to speak in favor of the variance? Is there anyone here to oppose the variance? Is there anyone here that would like to speak to oppose the variance? Last call. Anybody that wants to oppose the variance? Thank you. With that said, call for a vote.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the variance under the argument of professional services.
I'll second that.
Okay, you ready? Mr. Sebald?
Approved?
Miss King, sorry.
Approved.
Ms. Gunchin?
Approve?
Mr. Johnson?
Approved.
Okay, congratulations, guys. You'll be permitted under, I think, professional services, but we'll fix that ordinance eventually there. Thank you. If you guys can email me, I can give you the next steps to get that going. You have my contact information. Perfect. We'll talk. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Okay, appeal number 13324. You want to?
Yeah, absolutely. We have appeal number 13324 next. This is going to be done by Attorney John Knox on behalf of Shannon Smith concerning a property located at 1118 East Lake Road Index is 14-1040-122, located in an R2 medium-density residential zoning district. The appellant is requesting a use variance for a proposed private club and a dimensional variance for parking. Per section 204.3, previously 204.12, private club is not a permitted use and under section 302, previously section 301, one spot is required for every 4 seats. 0 spaces are proposed. And I'll let the gentleman continue.
Good afternoon. We're here, as indicated, to seek a use variance, property located at 1118 East Lake Road. Historically probably known as May's Tavern, that is now currently operated as Smitty's Lounge by the owner of the property, the sole owner of the property, my client Shannon Smith. He purchased the property in 2017. I provided a kind of a courtesy copy of the deed, really more for your edification of the parking issue, because there's a shared driveway with that property and the property immediately to the east. But more importantly, it also references the shared parking area behind that property. I believe that's in the final paragraph on page 1 of the deed, if you have that. This has been a tavern / bottle club / after hours club since about 1947. It's a long-standing neighborhood corner bar institution. Again, Mr. Smith purchased this property when it was essentially a bar, and now it is more or less a bar, albeit without a liquor license. So he has operated it as a bottle club, an after-hours club, a dance club, take your pick under the zoning ordinance. Historically, I'm a little confused procedurally because I was aware, I think back in 2023, April 2023, he received a notice of violation of the use not being a permitted use within R2. And then I'm not sure what happened with that. It sort of withered on the vine. There was no appeal, but there didn't seem to be any enforcement action either. And speaking with my client, he seemed to indicate there was sort of a gentlewoman's agreement, more or less, that they would deal with that issue somehow, some way, but it's not entirely clear what, if anything, happened after that. The issue then resurrected this year in May prior to my involvement, and then he, with other counsel, took an appeal seeking a variance. Well aware of the requirements for a variance, and essentially Mr. Smith is pleading hardship here. I know everyone pleads hardship with the variances, but I really think his is particularly acute in that, like I said, this has really been a tavern. It's been a bottle club forever. 78 years, something like that, since 1947. So he bought it as such, he operates it as such, and most importantly, I think, he buys it as a bar, and it is a bar in that there is an actual bar within the bar, as depicted in that photograph. It is a substantial bar that is affixed to the real estate. It is clearly a fixture that really is almost impossible to remove without damaging the property. So the hardship, and he did not create that, by the way, is that it is a bar within the bar, and that there's not much he can do about it. There's not much he could use the property for otherwise, practically speaking. I guess theoretically you could, but practically speaking, that is what it is, and that's what he seeks to continue. He's continuing it, though, in a nuanced distinction from a tavern. He has proposed a private club, and this would be Smitty's Lounge Social Club, that will require a membership application, dues to be paid. There's a code of conduct to be adhered to. There's a board that has a membership committee and a management committee that will oversee the policy and management of this. And that's what he seeks to do. He is really a community asset in that neighborhood, because not only is it really operated as an after-hours club, but he has a charitable endeavor which the club donates to substantially every year to benefit the general welfare of the community, and he seeks to continue to do so, in addition to the obvious use of the premises as a gathering place for members to congregate socially. And Mr. Smith is here to my right if you would like some questions of him.
I think for the record, we should draw the difference between restaurant, tavern, and bottle club. Obviously, we're attempting to use them synonymously, and they're not, right? So
Understood.
more than likely, when your client bought the property, it had an active liquor license, or it did not?
I believe that is correct.
Okay. Not that...
I'm not trying to blur the lines, but
Yeah,
yes, your
not
point
that
is well
restaurant,
taken.
tavern is allowable in R2 anyway, but I think it's an important distinction to make that restaurant, tavern, and bottle club, private club are separate things.
Sure.
I think also I'd like the record to reflect that the enforcement effort was 2023, 2024, and 2025. I mean, we have documentation in our packet that was made available, letters dated April 18th, 2023 being in violation, June 6th, 2024 being in violation, May 14th, 2025 in violation, and then again June 19th being in violation of the zoning ordinance. So this is not a new conversation with your client.
No, I understand. Yeah, I was aware of that.
When you purchased this property, there was a Pennsylvania liquor license there?
Good afternoon.
There was?
I didn't really hear you.
Oh. There was a liquor license when you purchased the property, then the liquor license, was that included in the sale to you?
But no, there was still an active liquor license, but I didn't purchase the liquor license. It was something going on with the previous owner.
Have you had other enforcement action at the property other than zoning?
Excuse me?
Have you had other enforcement action at your property other than zoning?
No, ma'am.
No police involvement, no code involvement?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and I'm not aware of the PLCB issuing any citations either.
Any other questions from the board?
So with the parking issue, your patrons then park on the street, is what we're hearing?
Mr. Smith can probably speak to this, but as I understand it, many of the patrons are from the neighborhood and they walk to it like a corner bar, or they use Uber. There is parking provided in the back, albeit it is not in proportion to the ratio under the zoning ordinance of 4:1. But there's space back there for about 10 vehicles. But again, Mr. Smith can speak to this, but it's my understanding that most of the patrons are neighborhood traffic and or Uber. Is that correct, Mr. Smith?
Yes, that's correct.
So with regard to operating this as a private club, are you in the process of obtaining a club license from the PLCB?
That is not his intent currently.
Do you intend to serve alcohol?
He intends to basically use it as it has been used, where people bring their own alcohol, and the facility is rented out, although this going forward will be a club where the members pay for their dues.
So not a social club, but a bottle club?
Correct. Yeah, no liquor license will be there.
Okay. And have you put together your membership criteria and all the other things, bylaws and the admissions process? Do you have all that in place?
Yes, I handed that to Ms. Francis prior to the meeting.
I don't know that I have that one, Amy. I've got the pictures, I've got the deed up here.
I think I emailed that to you, didn't I? Thought I brought this as well. My apologies, I thought I brought those, but I know I emailed those to Ms. Francis. But those rules and bylaws speak to the membership application and the approval, and there's a code of conduct adopted by the management committee and an expression of the charitable endeavors of the organization.
Any other questions from the board? Is there anyone else here to speak on behalf of the variance?
Yes, Mr. Smith has a number of individuals he'd like to have come forward. First is a Mr. Terry Williams.
Attorney Knox, I cannot access my email at this time, Board. I can get you that information if you'd like. How did you want? I have to go upstairs to send the email. It won't let me.
I believe I have Attorney Martinucci's email. Let me see
Yeah,
if I
if
can
you-
forward that right now.
That would be
Yeah,
great.
if you could
Thank
forward
you.
that, yeah.
And were you sworn in earlier? Were you present? Okay. Name and address, please.
Hi, my name is Terry Williams, Williams, and I live at the property at 1133 East Lake Road, and I've been there since 2001, and I really hadn't had a problem with the establishment that he has there. He usually cleans up behind everybody. I have no problem with the parking. Sometimes he have football games and invites me over to watch the football games with friends. So I don't see a problem with him being there.
What was your first name?
Terry Williams.
And you've been there how long, Terry?
Since 2001.
You own a property, live there?
I own it.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions for Mr. Williams? Okay. Is there anyone else to speak on behalf of the variance? Name and address, please.
My name is Willette Brooks. My address is 557 East 6th Street. I am actually Shannon's sister. And while he's had this club, I have to say that I've had a Christmas party there where there was no liquor served for my Masonic family. And everyone really enjoyed it. And it's such a respectful area. There was no fighting. There haven't been any fighting. And my understanding, they have been saying that there was fighting in my brother's establishment up under another person's name as his. So with that being said, I just think that his opportunity should be given to him in the respect that they respect that he's that wasn't the person they were calling in on. So I thank you for letting me stand here and make these statements, because I believe it'll be a good club, because he's very he does a lot in the community. He donates a lot. He's very respectful, and he respects others. So as I stated, I thank you for letting me have this comment on here.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Anybody else to speak on behalf of the variance?
Hello, my name is Ebony Wardell, and
Your address?
313 East 26th Street, Erie, PA 16504. I just want to say that Shannon, the place he has created there, it's all about just creating a safe place to come to. A lot of people who have tried to run these after-hour places, there's always commotion and things that happen, but he has really created a safe place. You don't hear about it. If you talk to a lot of people that come there, they feel safe there. And definitely he's passionate about giving back to the community and just establishing something legitimate, and just needs a chance to do that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your
Good
name and
afternoon.
address, please.
Okay, I'm Brother D. I work for the city, Mayor's Community Liaison. I am Daryl Craig, founding member of the Erie Bluecoats, and I'm Pastor Daryl Craig, senior pastor of the House of Prayer Missionary Baptist Church, 21st at Howland. Shannon is a young man that I've known probably most of his life. I've watched him grow through a lot of things, a lot of challenges that as a young black man growing up in certain areas in America, you're challenged. And I've watched him grow through these challenges. I've watched him take his lumps and his bumps. But more importantly, I watched him in this process. Amy, the guys, Scott, and those guys, I watched them trying to work with him and get this thing figured out. And I just want to see that he gets a chance to be a productive business owner. He's done a lot of great things in this community, as it's already been said. He was doing back to school bashes before anybody was. Sending the kids back with school supplies and book bags that couldn't afford it back when it wasn't fashionable. Shannon was doing that. Shannon is still always giving. I would love to see him get an opportunity to grow his business, to establish his business, grow his business, and prosper in his business. I think he's earned that right. I think he deserves that chance. What all that entails, it's been up in the air for quite some time because he's had this information and then he's gotten that information, and I don't know how many conversations we've had to wade through to try to get to where we are now. But whatever comes out of this today, I hope that you all will not take this opportunity from him, but in fact encourage it, because believe it or not, Shannon's example goes a long way in our community. He has a platform that resonates with our young people. Unfortunately, there are people in our neighborhood that are in the same proximity as him that are not like him, that don't have the heart and the spirit that he has, and is not trying to do things the right way. And I think sometimes some of that falls off on him. I know he's had his challenges, but he's been upright. He's been upright for me. He's not back down from the challenges. He's taken the information and tried to do the best he can with them and make this thing work out. So whatever happens in here today, I hope that you all give him a chance to continue to try to get his business off the ground, legitimately off the ground, and prosperous. Any questions for me?
Thank you. Are you got something to say, John, or?
Just with respect to
I was just going to see if there's anybody over here that wanted to oppose the variance. Is there anyone here that wants to speak opposing the variance? You guys can have a seat for a second.
Again, Jason Check for the court reporter, CHECQE, one of the solicitors for the city. And my timing was bad when Chairman Johnson called me up. I'm actually not for or opposed, same as the last one. However, I just want to be very clear on the issue that when Mr. Smith bought the property, the liquor license was not part of the purchase in 2017. So it was never a bar or a tavern, at least from the PLC's point of view, and the city's point of view, since 2017. Also, in 2020, the city passed an ordinance 352, which is extra regulations on after-hours clubs, dance clubs, and bottles clubs. And before the zoning board can even evaluate a request, there's a series of fees and background checks and inspections that need done before that would come into the zoning board's purview. That's in the ordinance. Now, the reason I say that is that I think Attorney Knox may have alluded to that this could be a bottle club. I just want to correct that. This cannot be a bottle club or an after-hours club or a dance club unless it complies with 352 first. So really, the only issue before you is it a private club? Okay, and those are all separately defined in Article 6 of the zoning code. So I think it's either a private club or it's none of the other things, and it's just he's just a building he's operating his business out of. That's the reason for the zoning notices, and the zoning officers and code enforcement also to a certain extent try to work with the property owner and to get it worked out. So we've been able to have communications with Mr. Smith, and that's why the appeal before you guys now is for a private club. So not that he's causing problems. So that's a question. I will tell you that we're in contact, I should say, with the district attorney's office and the police, and we've inquired, because we do get complaints from the local neighborhood organizations, and they're like, it's that Smitty's club. There's all that noise, there's all the traffic, and there's all the crime. We have asked the police, hey, do you have any statistics or 911 calls that go to 1118 East Lake Road? And the answer is no. In that worst case, the police are maybe responding to something and they're like, go home, and the people go. So I ask, are there misdemeanors filed, felonies filed, summary offenses filed? And there's like a handful. Okay, so really Smitty's business is not actually a problem compared to other businesses, right? So I think he's trying to do what he says he's trying to do, which is be a nice place for the neighborhood people to hang out and not cause trouble. So the criminal element, as far as I'm concerned, doesn't really exist. But this really is for a private club. It's not for serving alcohol. One of the parts of the definition of private club, it says that it's a building to house or club a social organization which is not adjunct to or operated by in connection with a public tavern or cafe. So this really is against the idea of alcohol being served there. So now, if you want a bottle club, that does talk about the alcohol could be either served by the operator or by the people. This would be a non-alcohol one, based on the definition that's in the zoning code. So again, I'm not opposed, and I'm not against Mr. Smith. And the fact that Mr. Smith is here, trying to get this done the right way, I think speaks volumes to what's being done. So those are my only comments. Thanks.
And Mr. Smith and Attorney Knox, you're paying particular interest to the details about liquor or beer at a private club?
Yes.
Okay.
And to the extent I confuse matters, but obviously the variance request is for a private club. The notices to Mr. Smith all reference the three different clubs, the After Hours Club, the Dance Club, and the Bottle Club. But yes, he is proposing it to be a private club, just to be clear.
Any other questions?
Mr. Chairman, it's Selena. I just want to ensure that we are including the email that was sent by Attorney Knox, just to cover us that something was sent in for membership, that those are included as exhibits and that we do get to see those at some point, please.
Yes, as a matter of fact, Selena, I will go ahead and you'll probably be the only one that gets a chance to look at it right now besides me. But let's see. So this is going to your Gmail address, and this is what Attorney Knox forwarded to me just a little bit ago. There are bylaws and rules, and then the other documents attached are the deed, which we have a copy of, and his list of hardships that he filled out as part of the appeal process. The club, is this incorporated, John, or?
It's an unincorporated association.
Unincorporated association, okay.
And he owns the real estate solely as an individual. And it has not sought 501c3 status or anything like that.
Right. But even like any type of like social club status, like a 501, what would it be, 501c9 or?
It's in its infancy, so yeah, we would have discussions with Mr. Smith about those particulars after the fact here.
Okay. So for the benefit of the board, this is just a quick synopsis. There is a board of directors, Shannon Smith, Ebony Wardell, and Shantae Husband shall comprise the club's board of directors, its management committee, and its membership committee. The board shall control all operations of the club and set policy for the club. As of the rules and bylaws adopted on July 29, 2025, club shall have no more than 200 individuals on the membership roll. Everybody's required to fill out a written membership application, which lists an individual's name, address, phone number, place of employment, and references and their contact information of 2 adults residing in the city of Erie. Upon submission of the application to the members, to a member of the membership committee will renew and contact the references and then vote on the acceptance of the membership, I believe the 15th of the month, that they're regularly scheduled meetings. $50 a year dues have to be paid within 30 days of admission. Shall observe all of the club's code of conduct, which is to include, the code of conduct shall at least prohibit the use of illegal substances on the club premises, possession of weapons or firearms on club premises, regardless of whether the member has a license to carry, and engaging in violent or disruptive behavior and or language, which is in the exclusive discretion of the club's management, as it was pose a threat to the quiet enjoyment of the club. They'll vote annually to determine charitable support. Non-members of the club may gain admittance with the sponsorship of a club member who physically accompanies the non-member into the club. They'll keep written minutes, and the bylaws may be amended. That's just, again, a quick synopsis. I'm not saying that that's verbatim.
So is there an original application fee? I mean, is there a cost to join besides the $50 a month?
No.
No?
Only if the member is
Pardon me?
accepted. No, only if the member is accepted.
So there's no upfront fee, it's just, if you're accepted, you start, your dues, your monthly dues is $50 a month?
Correct.
Actually, isn't it
No,
$50
a year.
Yeah, $50 a year.
Oh, a year, okay. And you're not trying to obtain a club liquor license for the premises?
Not currently, but that may be on the horizon.
Any other questions from the board? Anybody else to speak in opposition to the variance? Is there anyone here to speak in opposition to the variance? Anyone here to speak in opposition to the variance? Not being heard. Do we want to take? Yeah, we're going to take a brief moment to conference. Okay, we'll be back.
Okay, we'll go to recess.
variance? Okay. Do you want to word what we're going to approve or disapprove?
Well, I think that the motion is to, there are two aspects of this. First one is, do you want to approve the use variance request to allow for a private club? Then the second one is whether or not you want to grant the parking variance request. So two separate motions I would do.
Selena, do you want to propose those motions?
Sure. I vote that we approve the variance as a private, use variance as a private club, and what is the parking request?
Okay.
Parking request is 0.
Oh, 0 parking, in that off-street parking.
However, yeah, just so you know, they have stated that there's about spot for 10 spaces. They would need 4 per one. So they will have some available.
Does that cover both things, Art?
Well, that would, yeah. Again,
Okay, all right. So we only need-
I would have done it as 2, but one's fine.
Okay. So we need a second for that. Selena, you're making the motion, correct?
She did.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
All right, now I'll second it. So let's call for the vote.
Okay, Mr. Sebald.
He can't vote, can he?
Well,
He has
he
to-
still has to say whether or not he abstains. So
Okay.
it's okay for her to call the roll.
Okay.
Mr. Sebald.
I'm going to recuse myself and abstain.
Thank you. Ms. King?
I approve.
Ms. Genshin?
I actually am a vote to deny.
Okay. And Mr. Johnson?
I approve.
Okay, 2-1. Motion carries as a private club. Thank you.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
I thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And by the way, parenthetically, this is a banner day for the 1984 Academy High School basketball team. Mr. Spearman and I were both on that team, so just wanted that in the record.
Anything under unfinished business? Amy?
Yes, Chairman, we do have one other thing today. It's going to be under the new business before you adjourn. I do not have any unfinished business at this time.
Anything under new business?
Yes, new business. This would be a proposed amendment of the current zoning hearing board bylaws. Jake Welsh, our chief zoning officer, will present that to you.
Good afternoon. Jake Welsh, Chief Zoning Officer for the City of Erie. I've provided a copy of the current bylaws of the Zoning Hearing Board for the City of Erie, and also a copy of what the model bylaws are as distributed by the state, by the Department of Community and Economic Development. There's no request to take a vote on these bylaws. The bylaw changes per the current bylaws. They are to be presented, which is what we are doing today, and then the board would act on adopting the new bylaws at their next meeting. Just by way of a quick synopsis of the differences, essentially our current bylaws are very similar and are based on the state's current bylaws. Even though our bylaws are fairly old, they were adopted in 1988, they follow the same structure as the current model bylaws. There are a couple of changes, couple of sections were modified slightly in the updated model bylaws. One of the provisions, for instance, under officers and duties, the new model bylaws do allow for alternate members, and we don't have that provision in our existing bylaws. So that would be an add-on. And then the only other real substantive difference is there's a couple sections were reorganized Our notification procedures as far as public notice in our current bylaws are outdated. Hearing notification, so the hearing notification is probably the most substantive change between the current bylaws and the model bylaws, than what I would be requesting the board to adopt at the next meeting. Other than that, all of the other sections are pretty much verbatim between them. So you have an opportunity over the next few weeks to sort of look back and forth between the two. Don't hesitate to contact me with any other questions, but that's a pretty quick summary of what the changes are.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jake.
You're welcome.
Anything else for?
Just one other quick thing that we can add on from the office side is we have added the hardship questionnaire to the actual application. Any appeals going forward from here on out will not be put in front of you until that hardship questionnaire is filled out. Try to help the public a little easier get through. Okay?
Very good.
That's it.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved. See you next month.